If you can't stop thinking about women falling into haram or even just instant pleasure, it's not because you're weak. It's because your heart is trying to crave something even bigger. What you really crave is Jannah, bro, but you haven't trained for that yet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crave something even bigger, which is Jannah, which is internal, and how to get rid of all this petty stuff like lust and women and stuff, bro. My name is Ron Ahmed, and I make Muslim men go from little gooners to actual masculine men and help them quit bad habits. So if you want to know how to quit bad habits and actually build proper discipline and have ambition and be like the man that you say that you are, it's the first link in the description. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe and follow the Instagram. Let's get into the video. So point number one, we need to understand lust isn't evil. It's how you use it. You know, lust is a natural desire, bro. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. But the problem is you're misdirecting it, you know? Everyone has it, but some people use it for good and some people use it for bad. It's just about how you direction it. So you're not weak. You're not a weirdo. You're not like a social outcast for feeling that temptation. You're human. You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to feel it. But it's about how you go about it. It's about how you use it. Lust isn't the problem. It's you that's the problem, bro. You need to be able to control your mind and direct it and steer yourself to positive and actual beneficial means. If you start chasing this desire, like if you start running after desire, it's gonna leave you always feeling empty, bro. It's never gonna give you peace. So next time you feel this temptation or desire, say, where is this gonna take me? Where is this desire or lust gonna take me? Is it going to take me to watch bad stuff and do bad things, or is it going to take me to Allah, run to Allah and make dua to Him, and and seek istighfar? So point number two, train your heart for Jannah. Now you might be thinking, bro, I want Jannah. You know what I mean? Everyone wants Jannah. How do I do that? Reassurance, bro. Reassurance. We humans, we always forget stuff. We always forget stuff. And that's normal, bro. That's also normal. You know, don't be like a weirdo. Be like, oh man, I'm such a loser. Why do I keep forgetting? You're normal, bro. Everyone forgets. But you need to be able to have implements and proper things and factors in your life that constantly reassure you, constantly make you remember your actual goal, which is Jannah. So most men crave lust because they don't even crave Jannah. But imagine we switch this around. Imagine craving Jannah so much that they don't even crave lust anymore. Do you see what we just did there? Most men crave lust because they don't even crave Jannah. But if we start craving Jannah, we won't crave lust. Dog, we just switched it around, you feel me? So get intentional, bro. Get intentional, you know what I mean? Start putting things in your life that constantly remind you towards your goal, which is Jannah. So start reading vivid hadith, you know what I mean? Reading hadith about start reading hadiths that fully narrate the people of Jannah. Start narrating what it's like in Jannah, how it's gonna feel. Start reading Quran verses about Jannah, because if think about it, right, the more you read about it, the more it's gonna be in your mind, and the more you're gonna want it. Think about it, right? If let's say if I have this phone next to me, if I'm staring at this phone for 10 minutes, it's gonna be in my mind after I walk out this room. You know what I mean? Why? Because I spent the last 10 minutes just looking at this phone. Now, the point is, if you keep reading about Jannah, if you keep reading about Jannah, if you keep learning about Jannah, you're going to keep thinking about it. It's always going to be in the back of your mind. You know? So you read for 10 minutes about Jannah. You read Surah Insan. That surah, literally most of it just talks about Jannah and what it's going to be like. So if you read that verse, if you read that surah, after you finish, you're still going to be thinking about that surah for a while. And imagine you keep adding to it. You keep reading this surah, this verse, this hadith. You're going to be constantly thinking about your actual goal, and you won't even have time to think about that random girl on Snapchat. You know what I mean? So bro, just constantly just visualize yourself in Jannah. Visualize yourself in Jannah, because it brings you proper tranquil and peace. That's your end goal, bro. Just think about you just, I don't know, you just in your castle, in your palace, you're in your gardens, just running around in Jannah. Just visualize that. You know what I mean? Constantly have that in the back of your mind. You know, we're always thinking about, oh, I need to text this girl. I need to, I don't know, go to this party. I need to do this. But when have we ever sat down and visualized how we're gonna get to Jannah? Not even how, but what it's gonna be like in Jannah. When have we ever started thinking about Jannah? We haven't. So train your heart to crave the actual goal, which is internal, not this petty, like, temporary stuff. Have this in the back of your mind. I mean, we're guys, so I like cars and stuff. The more you learn about cars, the more you're gonna think about them. Same with, like, I love MMA. I love fighting. The more I learn about fighting, the more I think about it. It goes with everything. It's just basic, like, knowledge. So the more you think about this internal goal of yours, the more it's gonna be in your mind. So point number 3, we need to start thinking about how to get rid of these lust-filled triggers. What you consume is what programs your soul. So social media, music, Netflix, these explore pages, they're all digital poison, So just unfollow all of them, bro. You're not missing out if you missed the new rapper's album drop. You know what I mean? You're not gonna miss out, bro. You're not gonna miss out if this new Netflix series comes. What do you want more? Do you want this temporary stuff, or do you want this internal stuff? Like social media and music and TV shows, they all have a time period. This meme is only relevant from this part to this part. This music is only enjoyable from this part to this part. Same with this movie. It's only appealing to watch from this part, this time to this time. But replace that with internal timeless stuff, that doesn't depend on time. Quran, bro, we've had the same Quran. We've had the same words, same Quran, same contents for almost 1,500 years now. This is timeless. This is internal. Quran doesn't become less hype, or it doesn't become out of the norm. This is timeless. So surround yourself with that. So we need to audit and kind of filter out our phone. So our feed, our time, we need to clean our input and change our output. Now, point number 4. This is the most important way on how to, stop letting these triggers come to you and actually affect you bad. You always do something bad in a particular spot. Like that's like, so every time you come back from school, you lay on your bed and you start scrolling, okay? And then you see something, and then you fall into something again. Bad things again. You're always in a certain spot, and that certain spot, that's just where you do your bad stuff. You're just accustomed to doing bad stuff in that certain spot. Now, if you take 2 and 2 together, right? If you realize, okay, I'm doing bad stuff at this, I'm doing bad stuff, and I'm doing bad stuff at this spot. Okay, 2 and 2 together. What if I just change my spot? What if after I come back from school, I go in the kitchen, or I go in the living room, I just sit there? You know what I mean? You won't, because think about it, right? If you're in your little goon spot, you're going to end up gooning, right? Because that's just where it is. That's also what you've been accustomed to. That's just how your norm is. But if you, right after you come back from school, you go to the living room and you just chill there, it's gonna be like it's gonna be strange to be like, I'm not used to doing bad stuff in this spot. This, like, it feels weird. I don't know. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be accustomed to doing it. Why? Because you're out of that dirty, messy, like, weird spot, which is your usual spot. So every time you get a temptation, or like, I don't know, to do something bad, just change spots, bro. Just get up and just go for a walk around your house, okay? Even if it's like 9 p.m. and sun's going down, everything, and you get the temptation, go outside and stand on your balcony. It's gonna seem weird, be like, why is this guy outside at 9 p.m. just looking out the window? Or looking out at the trees. You don't have to tell, like, you're trying to protect yourself here, dog. You know what I mean? If people start saying stuff like, oh, it's all in the mental, start thinking about something else. It's a physical bad habit that you're doing. You physically put on that music. You physically do that bad, like, gooning activity. You physically do this. So if you physically move your location and go somewhere else, you're gonna have such a higher chance of you not falling into that same place again. You know what I mean? Think about it, right? If you think about it, right? Every city has like a bad part of town, right? If you go to the bad part of the town, you're gonna be inclined to do bad things. You know what I mean? If you're in a place where there's clubs, there's liquor, beer, dancing, girls, you're gonna be more inclined to do that bad stuff. But if you go towards the good part of town, like parks, I don't know, trails, walking trails, masjid, like charity homes, stuff like that. You're gonna be inclined to do good things. Go to the masjid, go for a walk. Reflect upon Allah's creation. You're gonna be inclined to do good stuff. It's all about the physical realm, where you are, how you like, what you are trying to do here. You know. So change your position, bro. Change your spots. Like walk. Like literally, when next time you get the urge, stand up and get out. Just stand up and get out, bro. You brothers know how to play soccer, basketball. You guys can run and stuff, but you can't stand up and just walk 3 steps when the time actually comes to it. Just change your spot, bro. Just change your spot. So we're not trying to suppress our desires, but we're trying to redirect it to something that's actually beneficial and internal and higher. Bro, you were created with powerful desires, like immense desires, but they were not meant for this dunya. When you learn how to aim your desires towards Jannah, that's when you finally feel peace, purpose, and power that's been hiding all this time. That's when you actually unlock your true potential. Be like, yo, I'm this powerful this whole time. Why has this not come to me? It hasn't been come to you because you haven't been aiming your desires properly. We all have desires, but some people desire for girls, parties, and drugs, and some people desire for Jannah and internal bliss. We all you see how you kind of like steer your desires and how you play with them. Bro, you're a man, bro. You're supposed to literally grab your desires by the chokehold and make them obey you. Make them be like, yo, buddy, desire, you're gonna be this now, okay? So you don't need to kill your lust. You just need to grab it by the chokehold and be like, yo, do this now. You need to put your effort, your energy towards Jannah. So in this video, we cover over practical ways on how to get rid of this craving of lust and temptations and make it into a craving of Jannah and internal bliss. My intention is to make Muslims quit these bad habits and actually become powerful and strong like we once were. I want us to become a united brotherhood that moves mountains, bro. Moves mountains and actually does good in the world. I want my life's work to go into, this brother right here. He put all his time into making Muslims better, Muslim men better, and quitting their bad habits and making them become better. That's what my life I want. That's what I want to stand before Allah. You know what I mean? That's what I want my work to be. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know if you guys want a part 2 or how this video helped you out. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok.